Today on the Rock and Metal Faith podcast, we're back to our album reviews. We're doing the Michael Sweet solo records, or at least the first one, anyways. We're doing a review on Michael Sweet's first solo released in 1994, self-titled album. All right, hit the music. Welcome.
Are you going to use that in promo?
I might. Welcome to the Rock and Metal Faith podcast, where music and faith collide. If you like hardcore Jesus rock and roll, or are curious as to what it's all about, you've come to the right place. From the classic bands to the up-and-comers and all those in between, we got them all right here. Come and join us as we rock the hell out of you, as we rock for the king. All right, welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Aaron Rockman H., joined as always with Chris. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I don't know if we should talk about the big news that happened yesterday. It wasn't really in the Christian scene, but
Yeah.
although it seems all the
Not
Christians are
much.
talking about it anyway. So,
Oh, are we going to talk about what I think we're going to talk about?
we'll bring it up a little later. First, I want to get to a couple comments.
Or you're just going to mention it?
Yeah. First, I want to get to a couple comments we had. We actually had a comment on Reddit, which is interesting because it's another one of those social apps that people are sometimes on. And I do a lot of promoting and posting of the show on various apps, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok being the biggest ones. But I don't know, I heard somewhere too that you do a lot of posting on Reddit, and it's supposed to help promote the show and all this. I was actually debating if it was even worthwhile because I keep getting all these feeds on subjects I'm not interested in popping up in my inbox on Reddit, and I'm like, is this even worth the bother? However, someone did comment on an episode I posted on Reddit. I believe it was the last episode talking with Scott Wenzel. The comment goes, it's very cool to hear about his relationship with Glenn Kaiser from Rez. So there we go. We're getting feedback from all over the place, which reminds us, keep that feedback coming. We like feedback from wherever. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any other podcast site, leave a review, leave comments. Actually, we're going to ask a question too about this episode. Seeing as how our main part of the episode is about Michael Sweet's first solo record. Actually, you can see it in the background there. I normally have the Stryper poster up, and I put up, I've got the Michael Sweet poster that came with the promo VHS cassette, I believe it was. When this record came out, he had a couple videos released, and you could buy it on VHS. And it came with a fold-out poster. I'm not sure if you can see it there in the background, but it's just a picture of Michael's.
You bought it on VHS. Oh, the music videos?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Remember, this came back out in 1994, and
yeah,
VHS was still a thing. It hadn't died out yet. For those who don't know, VHS is kind of like a DVD, but big, bulky cassette tape.
Cool.
Anyways.
I didn't know that this album came out till I think I bought it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the songs we like, but there was one that I just, from his album, I just loved a lot.
Yeah, I've got mixed reviews on this album, and we'll get into that in a bit. But
yeah.
So the question of the day for the episode, for those who have heard this record, or as we go by it, maybe you'll hear, the little clips we play will jog your memory. I'd like to know, what is your favorite song off this record? So leave comments.
Yes,
reviews,
we'd like to hear that.
And we'll go with that.
It's actually a really well done album.
Okay.
and there are songs and moments where, as a vocalist, I'm like, no, he didn't just do that.
All right. I
Like,
guess you first defied. I didn't hear it. I'm like, oh man, I don't know what to think of this. So we'll get into that. Um, One thing I do want to talk about too is we've got new music from X Sinner. Well, not new, new old music. For those who've been wanting to get a copy of X Sinner's first album, you can get a digital copy on their Bandcamp website. So I guess you go Bandcamp, search for X Sinner, and you can get a digital download. Up until now, it hasn't been available unless you had a copy from back in the day when it was first released. I've got that on cassette, and yeah, it was a great album. Actually, it was a great album when it came out. Not a ballad on that record at all. I love it.
oh, not like what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, yeah, this one is a little more disappointing, I think. The other thing I wanted to say is there was a new single released by Ignescent covering another Petra tune. He came, he saw, he conquered. Have you heard this one, Chris?
When I heard it, I was like, what was that word said to me? Like the new version of the mini pops?
No, definitely not the mini pops, that's for sure. That
They're well, I listened to their single "He Came, He Saw, He Conquered."
oh,
That's a good song. That was well
oh, you
done.
like that one? Okay, yeah. It's I don't know if it's as good as the first one. Remember they did that other one, what was it? I Am on the Rock, or no, it was something off Beyond Belief. I can't remember what other one they had done. I'd have to look that up now. But this one is a little more industrial sound, a little more. It's the same song lyric wise, but they've taken a little more liberties and done it more their style than straight copy and Petra type of thing. So if you like hearing songs done differently, you'll probably enjoy it. I'm not. I think they kind of deviated a little too much for my taste, so I'm not too sure what I think about that. Also, on new music or new music available, Bride's latest one, this Vipers and Shadows, is now available on the streaming sites. Have you had any listen to that?
Wow,
You like that?
that's I've listened to the three songs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it might just be me, but it's heavy. Like,
It's heavy, not like the previous ones, but I like it because it's more clear. The previous ones, I think, were a little more muddled. His voice was blending into the guitars too much. Guitars had too much grit distortion on there. It wasn't very clear. This one is produced a whole lot better than previous ones. I like that for that reason. It's got a lot more, I think, catchy guitar riffs on it too, compared to the previous ones. So, and it's funny because I've been listening to quite a bit there, trying to pick out on the words. The one thing I don't like is I've got the hard copy, and it didn't come with the little booklet of lyrics. So probably have to go look them up online. I'm sure they're out there. I just haven't bothered. I've just been doing it the old style way, listening to multiple times, trying to figure out what the words are. Haven't figured out all the words, but I realize there's lots of songs by lots of my other favorite bands I don't know the words to either, so it's not a big deal. That's what we were talking about earlier.
I like that one. That was
Okay.
cool. I listened to some of their others, and I'm like, all right,
Okay, so I think that's what we got for news. So then we'll get into the
we're not gonna a moment of Ozzy Osbourne silence.
oh, we could. Um, yeah, actually, now that you bring that up, um, we're recording this was the day after we got the news that Ozzy has died, and I wasn't going to say too much. Like I said, Ozzy being who he is, we like to talk about the known Christian artists. Although there's lots of speculation out there that Ozzy may have died as a Christian, that he was open to God. He said he identified as a Christian. I don't
Yeah.
know what he Ozzy meant by that. Uh,
or his faith,
yeah.
or yeah.
Um, Someone said that I think at the last show that he did there, someone had given him a Bible, which he took and cherished quite a bit. And I know there's been lots of posts actually on the even on the Christian side um, about his passing. A lot of people speculating, maybe he was Christian, maybe he wasn't. And then there was even a post someone saying that I think it was their dad had died on his deathbed and wasn't a Christian until he was on his deathbed type of thing. So it's
Hmm.
possible, Ozzy had died or became a Christian sometime after that final show before his death.
We'll never
No,
know. Yeah.
well, I guess we'll know in the end when we get up there. But until then, yeah, we're not going to know.
I did have my own personal moment of silence and went through only three songs I really liked of Ozzy,
Oh yeah,
you know. And I was thinking of you because haven't you seen him a couple times live?
yeah, I see him once.
Oh, okay. I thought you saw multiple times, but
No, actually, I'm glad I seen him when I did because he was in good health. This was like 20 years ago when I seen him. He put on a good show, played pretty much any song you could think of or wanted to hear. And but yeah, and someone else has said too, as far as this goes, that he was influential in metal, period. Whether it's mainstream metal, secular metal, Christian metal. We wouldn't have Christian metal if we didn't have metal. So,
yeah,
he influenced everybody or everybody who's a metalhead.
he was definitely in the beginning of. I still remember that time too when he jumped on the scene, and I'm like, who the heck is this guy? And then on the radio, they played "No More Tears." I was like, wow, that was cool.
All right. Well, that kind of does lead into what I got for plug it in. Time to plug it in and turn it up. Where'd it go? Anyways, so for the plug it in, I was thinking of playing an X Center song from the first album, seeing as how that made the news and it's available on Bandcamp. We're gonna have to set that aside for a little bit because I got something else to play with the news breaking with Ozzy, and this kind of leads into that, or the plug it in song will lead into that. And basically, I wanted to bring up there. We just did an interview which will air after this episode with the band IronWrath. It's a They're a great band, great, full of visuals and great heavy sound. So, you know, come back next episode and listen to this interview. But the reason I bring them up is because there is a song on their album. Their album kind of talks about life in general, life and hardships and dealing with that, and then hope in God. And there's a song on that album that kind of caught my ear and kind of deals with heroes passing or whatever, and it's called "Legends Never Die." So from IronWrath, this is "Legends Never Die."
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold in the fire.
There you go. That's Legends Never Die by IronWrath off their Master Storyteller album. Yeah, so that's a preview of what you're going to hear next time on the program. You get a chance to sit down and talk with the drummer from IronWrath. So if you like that, definitely come back and check the rest of that out. All right. So on to the main part of the episode now. Michael Sweet, 1994. Well, the album is actually just self-titled Michael Sweet, to distinguish it from or give it a title. A lot of people, I think, call it 1994.
Now, was this when he was taking a break from Stryper?
Yes.
And so what he just decided that he would find a bunch of guys and write, or what?
Yeah, apparently, and this is what is kind of perplexing. The last album we did with Stryper was Against the Law. After that, they did their first greatest hits called Can't Stop the Rock. They had 2 new songs on there, Believe and Can't Stop the Rock. And then we get nothing from Stryper. And a couple years later, we get this. Michael's. Oh, shit. Shoot. I left that in the car. I was going to say I was going to hold the record up, but I left that in the car. I was listening to it in the.
Like 84, that is right in the middle of. I mean, I was just a kid, so I
Chris.
didn't know Stryper.
Chris, 94.
Oh, 94.
Yes.
Why did I think it
I
was
don't know.
84?
84 is when the first. 84 was when Soldiers Under Command came out. Or something like that.
Oh, so 10 years later.
Yeah. But Michael Sweet leaves the band. I don't even think we knew this at the time. I think when this came out, because a lot of artists would do side solo projects, but still be part of their main band. And so I think when this record first came out, that's what I was thinking was going on. Michael Sweet just wanted to put out his solo record. And then we find out afterwards, oh, he's actually left the band. This is what he's doing now, and he's not part of Stryper. And I think Stryper tried to carry on without Michael and realized it wasn't going to work, and they soon disbanded too. So we get this. We got a couple other records from Michael during the break, which I might talk about later in a bonus episode or whatever. I've got a couple tracks from a couple records. I was listening to a couple of them. But that's the other thing I was going to bring up too in the news. I had said on a previous episode we're doing birthdays and record anniversaries, and I mentioned the anniversary of Rock's Regime, the demo tapes. So Stryper had released the demos. I said I hadn't heard that yet, so I listened to a few tracks off of that one, and that goes about what you expect. It's a bunch of demos. It's the songs done the way just with rough production because it's a demo. But there are a lot of fans out there that like those kinds of things. They like demo tape versions of songs. So at some point, Stryper decided to release those. Now back to this record. I remember when I first got it, I liked it, although there was too many songs with the same theme. Too many songs about the love relationship, and this is a time when I was single and wasn't into that.
No, that's a shocker. Yeah, like, I mean, when I bought it too and listened to it, I mean, the first couple tracks, like, hey, yeah, that totally still reminds me of Stryper. And then he had more ballads than ever that I had heard,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, he is gifted with ballads.
Well, that's one thing though that disappointed me is for a record, it's got too many ballads on that. That's one strike against it right now. And after listening to all these songs, I think there's 10 tracks on here. I'm gonna give it a 5.5, 6 out of 10.
So
here's how the breakdown goes. I've got 4 good rockers, so okay, there's 4 points there. although there's really 3 really good ones. There's a couple moderate tempo, medium tempo ones, combine them into 1 point, so that's like 6 right there. I'll give 'em points for 1 ballad, you know? Take all the ballads, find the best one, and get rid of the rest.
If we ever get to interview Michael, I would love to ask him during this album, the '94, like, was he in his having relational problems with his wife, or was he just, so madly in love with his wife that, I mean, really, essentially, this album could have been like a love album to his wife.
I think that's what it was. Uh,
Yeah.
Now remember, this comes from a point where he leaves Stryper because Stryper is not acting Christian-like. But what gets me is, I don't know, it's almost like he wants to distance himself from Stryper because he criticized Against the Law as, having lost the Stryper sound. They changed their sound, they lost their image, they lost change. So then he puts out this. This is so un-Stryper-like, this is not what you expect from the lead vocalist and guitars from Stryper, really. But anyways, uh,
But some of the opening of their songs are just awesome. I'm like, wow.
right.
And then they keep you hanging, and you're like, oh, it's about.
Well, this was released, okay, April 7th, 1994. Came out on Benson Records. It was produced by Michael Sweet and Greg Fulkerson, who also worked on the record as well, or played on the record too. He did backing vocals, he did the rhythm guitars, he co-wrote some songs, and did the organ and the keyboards for the songs you hear. Um,
You could tell all through the album that they really wanted to magnify that Michael can sing.
right.
You
Well,
know, like,
we knew that.
and the guitar solos were
We knew that from to hell. We knew
wow.
that from to hell with the devil that Michael could sing. With honestly. So
Yeah, the riffs are pretty neat. I'm like, wow.
I'm gonna call up the track listing so that I can see who wrote what. Okay, so there we go. Um. All right. So yeah, that's my take on the overview of the record. Have you seen the cover of the record? It's a basic cover. It's got just says Michael Sweet on it. It's got a picture of his face on it. Anyways, I was gonna say too before we started recording this, but I might as well mention it here that
Yeah.
I tried to keep the song clips kind of short this time around, so we were not always gonna hear the start of the song. Sometimes we just kind of jump into the song. But anyways, the first song we hear on the record is "Together."
Talking about devotion and make it out to be a foolish notion. They know better, baby, you got me feeling sweet emotion. Smooth sailing on a clear blue ocean. Ain't no storm, weather on I see of love. Wanna tell you that I love you, and I'm always thinking of you, and I promise you, always gonna stay together. I've seen a lot of desperation.
So yeah, there we go. Opening song, first song we hear. It's a love song to his wife. I
Yeah.
don't know if I have a problem with that. The song isn't very heavy though.
That comes later.
You know, it sounds like he's trying to be Bryan Adams.
That's true. It does. Yeah. But if you listen to it, musically and lyrically, it rhymes really well. Like it flows.
Yeah,
Like it's something that if you were really into the song, you'd be able to remember the words.
yeah. In that respect, it's not. It's written well that way, but this is this is going almost into contemporary music, going from what we know of Stryper into this, you're like, what happened?
Yeah, it's not like soldiers under command, and
And you know what? It's not like, I don't think it's a good first song for the record. It's okay. I wrote down, to me, it's just meh. It's not horrible. It's not bad, but it's not great.
yeah. Well, and that's part of being an artist, right? You just put out stuff that you believe that you like, that it's written well, and that's what he did with this album. I mean, he do other projects, solo
Oh
projects?
yeah, he
Okay.
did a couple albums called Truth and Real, and Truth is out there on the streaming platform. I heard that gets actually heavier. Sounds like a '90s metal record, a very heavy guitars. He also did a one called Him, which is kind of like a worship album. That one is very soft, very low key. Most of it is just him and the guitar, but it's very soft musically. It will make easy listening radio. Now, if you want a soft worship record, that's a good one to check out.
I'll have to check it out.
I think it was Michael kind of stretching, doing different things, trying different styles throughout this time. He spent 10 years or so doing the metal scene, doing Stryper. Maybe when he left, he thought, let's try something different that wouldn't work with Stryper, maybe, because a lot of these songs would not work as a Stryper song. So maybe that's it. Anyways, the second song on the record, Take Me Home.
Here I am standing in a foreign land, on my own and all alone. I lost my one connection. I had it all before, but then I had to roll the dice. And when my numbers fail, I pay the price of desolation. You gotta touch again. Take me home.
That's one of my other favorite songs.
Okay.
Just the way they opened it.
Yeah.
I like the way they opened the song.
Yeah. This is a good song. So we go from a song that was okay to this one that's really good. I had this down as good. This wasn't, I've got 3 songs on this record that are outstanding favorites, like 5 stars. This song is almost there. This makes 4.5 stars, but I like it. I think they should open up this one this should have been the opening song, or even a couple other songs on the record could easily been the opening song. Just not together. The other thing I was going to say, I forgot to say too, was the song Together was written by Sweet and Fulkerson. So that's one of the songs where Fulkerson came in and helped write the song.
Yeah, it's well written.
Yeah, Take Me Home was just Michael Sweet. On the credits here, it says all songs are Michael Sweet except where noted. And there's a few songs where he had help with Greg Fulkerson. So that was Take Me Home. That's one of your favorites. Yeah, that's a good song. It's got some great guitars in it. I like that little wah thing he had and scratch thing that they got going during the verses. The other thing I noticed during listening to this, and I listened to this record a few times over there trying, prepare for this episode. I was trying to find a really great guitar solo, and there really isn't on these songs.
No.
The solos are okay, but there's nothing outstanding on these solos, and definitely nothing Stryper like at all.
Yeah, I mean, there are little moments where it was a mini solo, and that was it. Like 15 seconds.
Yeah, well, and sometimes the solo fits the song, you know, like the solos on the ballads are good, but you're not gonna have a shredding solo when you're doing the ballad either.
It's not like Rex Carroll's
No,
solo,
definitely not.
where they could go forever.
All right, so you know we went from okay to pretty good to bleh. The next song, the third song is Tomorrow Tonight.
Sorry once more. Oh, what I put you through. Can we dream about tomorrow tonight? Oh, baby, and we'll dream that everything's gonna be alright.
You know, I'm not big on ballads. I hate ballads. There are a few outstanding ballads that I really do like. I can say honestly, it is a good ballad. There is a good ballad on here. This is not it. This one just this song just bores me. There's nothing to this song. It's him playing keyboard or Greg playing keyboard. You know, you throw a couple chords down to a couple of nice lyrics, and that's all. That's it. I'm like, yeah.
I thought Michael's wow, he really reached for that in that song with the ballads. You could tell that he was just trying to stretch his vocal range a little more. And I mean, he does it beautifully, right? But yeah, like for the rockers, it's no, no. You're probably in your seats at the show. Like, come on.
I'd be falling out of my seat asleep if he does this one.
Okay, you're that in yeah.
You know, the theme is nice. The sentiment's nice. He's got too many songs with that same theme, though. You don't need it.
Yeah.
This one I could easily take off the record. Okay.
I think maybe he was trying to make up with his wife or something.
I don't know. I thought he was doing okay with his wife, or unless I don't know. And you know, I've got his bio, and I did not have time to sit down and read this section of his bio of what was going on. I usually do read the chapter about what we're talking about to kind of refresh my memory, but we've been busy. The summer's being busy, and I'm trying to squeeze a bunch of episodes together. So all I have to do is just sit down and edit and get the edits out whenever I got time. All right, so we move on from that to All This in Heaven too.
That was my other.
I went searching for some peace of mind out on the open road under a stormy sky. I found something that no money could buy. I found a paradise. I found it in your eyes. My eyes were open when I took your hand. Without a word, you made me understand. You made a hero of a simple man. You saved my lonely soul, and all this and heaven too means nothing if it's without you. Why don't you tell me what did I do to deserve all this and heaven?
I think the first song on the album that I think is a really great song. Now I did like Take Me Home, but this one I don't know. It's not heavy, but something about it just kind of it just does it for me. Put it that way. That's all I can say.
Where for me, I didn't really like this one.
Okay.
It didn't grab my ears, and no. I listened to it and thought, no.
Well, he did make a video for this. Maybe I'll look for that.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh,
What I've got here, and apparently the record had 5 number one singles, although I don't know which 5 songs were the singles. It spawned 3 music videos. So I imagine the videos were 3 of the 5. I don't know what the other 2 singles would have been. But this was the first.
Didn't this album go multi-platinum?
I don't know
Because
about
that's what I
that.
read earlier.
Maybe. I don't have anything by that. Oh, actually, and the what record came out before this was another one of Michael Sweet's. This was not his first one actually, but the other one came out was called Unstriped, and that was stripped down versions of Stryper songs. And the one after this was the Real. I don't know if I've heard that one, or I think I've got a couple tracks off of Truth, which comes out after that. But yeah, I don't know anything about how far this went as far as platinum, multi-platinum, or anything like that. All I know is, yeah, All This in Heaven 2 was a video. I think,
I'll have to look for it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure I got that on my VHS copy. I wonder if I could. I bet you I got that VHS handy. Just give me a sec here.
Cool.
Found my VH copy of this. It has the videos. All This in Heaven 2.
Oh, okay. You got the video cassette.
Yeah. It has the videos for All This in Heaven 2 and then the song Someday. And I think there's some behind the scenes stuff.
I wonder if he did a music video for Jesus. That would be a cool video.
Not that I know of. Oh, this was okay. If you bought,
Oh, just a single?
it said this was either $5.99 or $4 when you bought the purchase with the purchase of this tape or CD. Include the video, the interviews, behind the scenes. It came with that poster that you see on my wall. All right. Yeah, so All This in Heaven 2. I liked. Again, I don't know. Yeah, it's not an outstanding song, but for some reason, I thought it was. I don't know. That's how that goes. Next song on here is Someday.
Really? How do you like Someday?
Though I cannot see you, I know I've always felt you, so I will follow you and believe. Yeah, I will follow you and believe. Someday I know you're coming back for me, for the one who loves you. Someday I know my heart and soul will be free from this pain they hold on to. I'm holding on to someday.
Okay, so did you say you did like this or you did not like this?
No,
No.
it just didn't.
Yeah. What did I write down on this one? It was Mia. It was it was okay. To me, it comes across as the typical ballad. You know, it starts off him and piano, then it builds up, and then the drums and bass kick in and gets a little heavier, during the chorus. I do kind of like the words to this one though.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, I know this might work better, maybe as a heavy rock song instead of a ballad, but or
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be a rock song, right? I think more bands need to do ballad like that, something completely different to keep their audience connected.
all right, yeah. But this one didn't do it for you.
That's right. I mean, you know, don't stray too far away from your roots. Like, don't go from heavy metal to rap.
Well, yeah. Well, this isn't that.
Right?
This isn't that, and this is their typical ballad. This is pretty close to what they did with Honestly. So maybe that's why I thought
Yes.
this wasn't horrible. I didn't think it was great, and not my. Did I rate?
Well, with honestly, that set Stryper out in the mainstream. Like, boom!
Yeah.
It was radio playable. It was.
But this one follows that same format, the same formula for writing a song is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. And do you know how to spell? Do you know what JESUS spells?
Jesus. Jesus. I think that song rocks.
People come and go. One thing I know, Jesus never leaves you. No, He's with you every day, just a prayer away. He'll always see you through. Yeah, read the stories, you've heard the lies. Jesus died and He did not rise. Tell you, man, that He's alive and well, not a storm sitting on a shelf. So take your money from the wishing well and put your faith in Him. Means forgiveness. All you got to do is call love. He'll be there.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. This is a great song.
It really is. When I got the cassette, that's the only song I would listen to it on. I would just keep rewinding.
Let's get rewinding back to
And
this.
that's why the tape is gone, because I wore it out.
You know what? And we were talking about great songs or songs that should have led the record off or tape off. I had this on CD. I didn't have it on record, but you had it on tape. I had it on CD. You know, if All This in Heaven 2 or this one was the first song on there, it would have been a whole lot better as a first song. Although, now that I think about it, usually in my mind, the first song sets the tone of the record, right? Well, the first song is Together.
Yeah.
And you know what? The reason they picked it is because it set the tone. This is not a heavy rock and roll record.
No, it was that should have been your hint
Right there, yes.
right from the beginning.
Maybe that's why they let off with that one. And if we go back a couple tracks or two, All This in Heaven 2, which would have been a good song to lead off with.
That's a good song too.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. That was another one that was written by Fulkerson with Sweet. He helped write 3 songs. All This in Heaven 2, Together, and Forever Yours. I wanted to get all 3 of those out of the way because I'm going to forget them as they come up.
Okay. Yeah, mine would have been Jesus, Together, and All This in Heaven too.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the songs that Michael had co-writing credits with
Oh, he co-wrote
yeah.
them. Okay.
Okay. And now we're on to All I Want to Do Is Love You.
Times that I fall short and I make my mistakes. You're there to catch me and pick me up when I fall. I'm like an eagle flying higher and higher. You have given me the courage and given me desire. Wanna love you every day, every hour, every minute. Can't take my eyes off of you. Got a fire in my heart. You're the one who needed.
Your thoughts on All I Want to Do Is Love You?
About yeah.
Yeah,
It's a semi-ballad. He wants to go. You almost get the feeling he's about to jump into a like a Calling on You song. You know,
Right.
start slow, and you almost are expecting him to jump up a little beat, but he doesn't. He just stays there.
Yeah, this is one of those mid-tempo songs, and I'm listening to this going, how many songs are you going to write about the same thing?
Well, if we ever interview him, you can ask him
You know,
what he was
and
thinking.
he does it. He does it today. Like he still writes songs about the same thing, but he only puts one of those kind of songs on each Stryper record. I can handle one or two per record. I don't want a whole record of the same song, different ways.
Maybe this was written in February during Valentine's Day.
Oh, when did it? Well, maybe no. It said it came out in
We'll
April.
have to ask him,
Well, it said it
you
came out in
know?
April, and there wouldn't be
Or
enough
maybe
time.
he lost his dog,
I don't know.
you know?
One or two songs is all I need. And you know what?
No, I mean, I personally think that more bands, like in the mainstream, right? You could find Brian McKnight, you could find numerous artists to do romance songs, right? And that's fine. But in the Christian music scene, to write a ballad about their wives or fiance, it's like, no, don't do that.
Well,
You know?
that in itself, I don't have a problem with. And you know, go ahead and write an actual love song about your wife or whoever you're dating at the time. I don't have a problem with that. We all go through that. We all want to hear those kind of songs, and I want to hear that kind of song. I just don't want a whole record of that.
I hear you. I
You know,
know. I know.
I know,
It's
I know. Holy,
maybe he wanted to show that he could sing in slow ballad
yeah,
then.
we already know he can do a ballad. He doesn't need a whole record of them. And you know what?
He obviously needed a break vocally from singing Stryper.
Well, you know what? And here's the other problem now. Going into the next song again. It's the same thing. This is Forever Yours.
Oh, and when forever comes, ooh, I will be the one to sweep you off your feet, make your work complete until your life is done. I'll be the melody that moves you. I'll be the song that breaks your heart. And I'll be
We need the lighter.
Yeah, I know.
the memory that haunts you. Lying in the dark forever yours.
Well, one thing I say about this, I don't know. I originally wrote down my original notes was this was Mia, and then I wrote beside it, it's a nice ballad. It is a nice ballad, and if you want a ballad on the record, maybe you can keep this one. Get rid of the rest.
Yes, it's better. It almost, when I heard it earlier, I listened to it. It almost sounds like this is a song that Bon Jovi took.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. He's around the scene. He's, you know, no, they were different sides of the country. Bon Jovi was on the East
Right.
Coast, Stryper was the
But
West
it
Coast.
sure sounds like,
But once everybody got big, everybody's probably mingling or at least hearing what other people are doing. Maybe he got inspired by stuff Bon Jovi had done. I don't know, or what. This song actually
yeah.
was written by Greg Fulkerson, and I said he wrote three or co-wrote three songs. But what I got here for notes, he didn't co-write this one. Greg wrote this one without Michael's help. So Michael Sweeney wrote all the songs, two of them with Greg, and this one Greg wrote by himself. Now, what I do like about this is I kind of like the build up. When the song starts, it's just Michael Sweet and the acoustic guitar. And then it builds up. Then they bring in the drums and bass and piano, and it does build up to a nice big chorus on the second chorus. I do kind of like that. Like I said, I understand the need for a ballad. So put one ballad, put one love song on the record. and then write something else.
Oh, come on. I mean, he spent a lot of time starting it, and he'd be like, oh. Like, it was like almost he didn't want to go any higher than that. And that's fine, right? If that's what you want your project to be. But we've all known Stryper to be Stryper.
Yeah.
So I thought it was okay, like. But when I hear stuff like that, Aaron, I almost have a niche for. I want to hear a Def Leppard ballad now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like they did really good ballads back in the day, Def Leppard,
Well,
and Michael close to it.
well, again, a couple of these songs could have had that build up. If you think of, if you compare it to Def Leppard, it could have been like Foolin'.
Yeah.
Start off slow and then build up to a big chorus, and go back to slow and then build up again and have this great wild solo in there. None of these songs have a great wild solo. There's one song on here that maybe has a decent solo, and we haven't heard it yet. We only got 2 songs to go. Okay. But this one I do like. Another one coming up. I think you hear me knocking. Okay. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's another great song on this record. That's probably the third best song. Well, like I said earlier, there's 3 really great songs. I don't know if I can order them, but might even be the fastest song on the record, tempo wise. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's good talk. I liked it too.
So that's all. That's all you guys say. Just it's good. I like it.
I know. I was just repeating you. That's all.
Actually, you know what? And best rockers are ones where he's talking about a Christian theme. We had All This in Heaven too, talking about everything that God has given him, and plus he gets to be in heaven. We got Jesus. Well, no doubt what that song's about. And then we got I Think You Hear Me
That
Knocking.
song's awesome.
And then we got I Think You Hear Me Knocking, which is God knocking on the hearts of people, trying to get their attention. And then we go for the last song, which at least the last song doesn't disappoint. This is another up-tempo rock and roll song. It's actually not bad. Ain't No Safe Way. So there you go. You have to wait till the end
Yes.
to get real heavy.
Well, that's why it was at the end. It was teasing you to be ready for the next project, right?
Yeah, I don't know. This wasn't bad lyric wise. It was, I think, okay. You know, he's dealing with abstinence and instead of promiscuity of what was going on with mainstream bands of the '80s, and everybody's talking about having fun and immorality. He comes out with this song. Mind you, this is the '90s too, and I think this was when people were kind of getting out of that whole promiscuity idea type of thing. Uh, but yeah, and they did this a little bit too on Against the Law. They had that song, Not That Kind of Guy, where, that song was about this woman trying to come on to him, and he's like, "Oh, hold on, I'm not that kind of guy." And so it's carrying on that theme. But, when you're talking from a Christian perspective, nothing wrong with that at all.
That's right. Yeah.
Uh,
So, is this an album that people should go out and try to find and buy it?
well, they've heard clips, they know what the sounds like. I don't know. It's not a Stryper record. Don't buy it thinking, oh, Michael is doing his. Maybe the reason that these songs are on here is because they wouldn't fit on a Stryper record.
And Michael wanted to release them, right?
Yeah.
So
So maybe it's that. Maybe I don't know. Like I said, I give it a 6 out of 10 because there's 3 really great songs. There's about 4 or 5 rockers on it that I say, yeah, okay, that's good. The mid tempos are okay, but take the mid tempos and combine them for one rating, 1 point, and the ballads, well, pick one and scrap the other ones. So what are your 2 favorite songs on this record?
my favorite two would be Jesus and Together.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, if you guys are looking out there for a song or an album that's a little slower, I mean, once in a while we all have those moods where we want something slow. This would be it.
right. What's your least favorite songs on this record? Just ones on here, put it that way.
I think, I think I heard
I heard you knocking.
I think it was the last song you just talked about before the one you played.
Oh, okay. I think you hear me knocking. You don't like?
Yes.
Okay, you don't like that one?
Not too much.
Okay.
I mean, All This in Heaven too. Nah, it could be done better.
Right.
Michael could sing that one better.
Well, mine are okay. So favorites. I agree with you on Jesus. That's a great song. And I'm gonna disagree with you on I think you hear me knocking. I think I'm gonna put that as one of my favorites. There's 3 on there, like I said, that are really, really good. I might not knock down to narrow it down to 2. I think I'm gonna go with those 2. For the ones I don't like, uh, probably All I Want to Do, and what was that other one? Tomorrow Tonight. That one
Yeah,
that's just gonna put me to sleep. Maybe I should try that because a lot of nights I have trouble sleeping. I should throw that on.
that just didn't do anything for you.
No.
No.
And then, like I said, I've been having trouble sleeping. Maybe I should listen to that one, and I'll probably fall asleep before it's done. But those ones,
Well, as a songwriter, you just try. You try.
all right. We'll quickly run through the birthdays now. And we got covered July into August because this I'm not sure when we're going to release. I know the next episode won't be doing birthdays because we got an interview, so we're going to cover most of August on this. But we left off, I think, at the end of July last time we were talking about birthdays. And so July 29th, we have, well, not a birthday, but a death day anniversary. Michael Bloodgood from the band Bloodgood. He was a founding member, bass player, and he died, went to be with the Lord in 2022. And then we got a birthday same day, July 29th. Mark Gershmill, who is the keyboardist and founding member of Whiteheart. And he was born in 1954. Also, same day, I've got Gary Lenar, who played guitars with Tourniquet from the start to 1996.
Pathetic. Oh, killer.
Is that the only song in there, as you know?
That's a good song, though.
It is. All right. August 1st, we got an album anniversary. In 2005. Oh, two albums came out. So we were just talking about the Michael Sweet album, Him, which is a very soft record, very contemporary. Your grandmother will love this record. This came out in 2006. For something heavier, we've got the album Reborn by Stryper. This is not a favorite record of mine. When this came out, I was kind of excited because Stryper was back on the scene. But this was originally meant to be a Michael Sweet solo record until he got back together with the guys and they heard these songs, liked it. They wanted to release it as a Stryper record. And in my mind, it's the most un-Stryper sounding record in the catalog. And we're going to talk about that after, when we get back into the Stryper record catalog, we'll be talking about that. Michael Sweet did actually release his own version of this many years later, not just a few years back, called Reborn Again under his band, and it was a much improvement over this one. I think when we talk about Reborn, we'll kind of compare the two records. Anyways, August 10th, from the band Narnia, we have Martin Herenstam. He's the keyboardist. His birthday is August 10th. And back with the band Tourniquet, August 19th, we have another death anniversary. The great drummer Ted Kirkpatrick, who played drums for Tourniquet from...
He was awesome.
Yeah, from 1990 to 2022 when he died, actually.
He died?
Yeah. August 19th, 2022.
I didn't know that.
I'm sure we talked about this last year, but yeah. But you're right. He was an incredible drummer. Probably one of the outstanding Christian drummers that there has been around. August 20th, from the band Pillar, Rob Beckley, who has done vocals and rhythm guitar. His birthday is August 20th, born 1975.
Same age as me.
And same day, we have the guitarist from Third Day, Brad Avery, who played guitars with Third Day from 95 to 2008 or 1971. Actually, if I remember correctly, I think Brad Avery was on our top 100 guitar list, early in the list, but I think he was there. I'd have to go back to that list and have a look at it. But yeah, if you haven't heard those episodes, go back and check them out. So we cover some great guitarists.
Mm-hmm.
August 21st, we have the bass player from Pillar, Michael Wittig, born in 1976. And then we got a couple album anniversaries. August 21st, 1990 was Against the Law by Stryper. And August 23rd, 1985 was Soldiers Under Command. So I was close. Earlier in our discussion, we were talking about 84, and I thought that was Soldiers, but Soldiers came out, I guess, a year later. August 20, where are we here? August 26th. We have Pete Orta, who played with Petra. He played on guitars from 96 to 2000. I think this was the time when Bob Hartman had left the band and was not touring with them. And Pete Orta steps in. And same day in 2016 was when the record One Sided War came out. One Sided War is a Michael Sweet solo record. This might be his best solo record. and it's a lot heavier than the one we just covered. If you're looking for
Cool.
a Michael Sweet record, that's a good heavy record. Once he got back with Stryper, he started doing the heavy stuff again, and he's done lots of projects. He's done his solo projects. He's done side projects with other musicians. But I recently got One Sided War. It's a good record. And then the last one to cover from one of the newer bands, August 27th is the birthday of Matt Smith, who's with the band Theocracy. He started the band. He's the singer. He started playing guitars, and then I think he passed the guitars duty off to another member. But he sings with the band. He probably writes the guitars since he is an accomplished guitarist himself. But August 27th, Matt Smith. So that's it for our birthday list. That's it for our episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a comment. Let us know what your favorite song from Michael Sweet's first record in 1994 was. You got any more comments, Chris?
Thank you for that comment. Whoever put on our Facebook page about that we're awesome and that they like the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
All right. Keep rocking and God bless.
We'll see you later.
Wait for the song to finish.
Timer disappeared. Oh, there it is.
There we go. All right. Stop.